Hey guys, it's Maddie, and I have on the line on my phone is Ivan. We're gonna try
Yo,
something
yo,
new.
yo, yo, who was good?
We're gonna try something new, and we noticed that the audio in the first episode was a bit off, so we're gonna try seeing if him calling on my phone and me just recording it on my phone is better. Now, I did a movie reaction earlier today. So I probably don't have enough storage because I know we'll be talking for a long time. So I am recording the phone audio on my tablet, which is probably not a good idea, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Maybe next time I won't do a movie reaction, but that's what I get for being a YouTuber. Anyway, so if you have not watched my short that I posted not only on YouTube but also on TikTok of our initial reactions of coming out of the movie theater of watching Across the Spider-Verse, you need to go watch that real quick and just see our disbelief because I'm still processing if I'm being honest. Like I've tried my wrapped my brain around all different things and we're just gonna talk about it. This episode will probably be the only thing we'll talk about is the movie and what we thought about it. So, with that being
Pretty much.
said, do you want to do some small talk or you just want to get into it?
Uh, let's get into it. I say because we got a lot of cover.
We got a lot of cover. Okay, where do you want to start? Do you want to go from linear of the story, or do you want to just how do you want to do this?
I think linear from what we can remember because we only saw it once.
Yeah, we
So
only saw it once. I'm gonna
okay,
probably go see it again with my mom, but
nice.
this is what we saw it once, and I'm probably gonna go see it again because it's that good.
Yeah.
So we first actually start with Gwen Stacy, which was a surprise. Didn't know we were gonna start with her. She basically recapped the whole spiel of what happened in the last movie, but also
Mm-hmm.
saying, hey, there's gonna be some stuff in the future that's gonna be not so great for Miles. We're like the third. It's like the third party into his story.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow,
So
we
I
thought
feel like
the animation was beautiful. We're just gonna
it
start
was
on that.
the
It was
her sort of story, um, which is so like from the moment we see Gwen
mm-hmm,
until what is it like the what is it? So it's Gwen, and then before the I would say the story begins with
mm-hmm,
Miles. We get like the title or something,
mm-hmm.
I believe. Yeah. So that whole opening sequence was just like her, her story, her stuff, where she is, and all that, and how
Yeah,
get to how does she get to travel through the dimensions?
yeah. So yeah. So basically, long story short, when we saw how she lost her Peter Parker, very sad, very tragic. Her
Mm-hmm.
dad, Captain Stacy, um, blames Spider Woman, aka her daughter, but he doesn't know that yet. That you know he killed she killed my best friend's daughter. And we're like, evidence, man. Where is your evidence? All you saw was her hugging the body. Why would a killer hug a body? Use your
Yeah, I mean,
use your
that's
big captain brain. Think for 2
that's
seconds.
what I'm like, and I've seen. Where else have we seen that? Where it's like, oh, with Miles from the previous film when
Yeah.
he's with Aaron and he's like holding his hand or whatever, and then his dad's like, police, police, and Miles escapes, and then he's like, all units call for Spider-Man, the new
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
APB on
So
the new Spider-Man.
if you see a dead body or is of someone and you're alone, with that person and you're like hugging or something, apparently that is a crime.
Apparently.
You are literally the criminal.
Especially if you witnessed the crime. It's very especially if you witnessed, because if you witnessed it and then still stayed with the body and
Then
cried over their, especially if like someone you know,
yeah.
you're gonna go straight to jail or be shot on sight, and it will probably be by your parent or legal guardian or someone you know.
Another one is that I was thinking of is in the first Spider-Man movie, Tobey Maguire, when Spider puts William Dafoe's body on the couch, and then Harry's like, "What have you done?" And then that's where the hatred towards Spider-Man begins.
Yeah.
Again, because he was with the body, and
just because he brought your dead father's body to your
if,
couch does
like,
not mean I killed him.
What if he would have like died somewhere, and then Spider-Man found him in battle, and he's like, "I'm gonna bring him home," at least.
Like, because that's the honorable thing to do. Like, this is not my dad. I know whose dad it is. I think they would want to say their goodbyes. Like, that's admirable. But, like, no, people can literally take that and twist it into their own little twisted minds.
Yep.
But anyway, then we had the fight with what I'm only gonna call him the Leonardo da Vinci. Is it Da Vinci? Right, the Da Vinci sketches that I'm thinking of. Probably.
You mean Leonardo the Vulture?
Yeah, Leonardo the Vulture. Yeah, that's probably better. So yeah. He came from a different universe, obviously, because he's legit made of paper. And he started like blowing up this art museum, and like, she's like trying to fight him off, and then Miguel, and then what's her name?
I forgot her name.
Jane. It starts with a J. It starts with a J. Ginny something. We're gonna call her Spider-Woman J, because I can't remember her name. But yeah, and she's actually pregnant, and I guess the father is okay having his pregnant wife and unborn child in the line of battle. I mean, I get it, she's Spider-Woman, but still, that's gotta be like a, like that's gotta be dangerous still, because if women can barely do like a simple workout while being like 9 months pregnant, it's like
punch her in the stomach and that's a wrap.
Yeah, bye baby,
Exactly.
So yeah, I was like worried about her belly the whole time.
The thing that came to my mind was, so before, I think even before the trailer for this movie came out, they announced not only like how many Spider-Mans, but also that there were gonna be like so many different art styles. Like it was like the previous one, it was very much the same. Like it's style, but like there wasn't any like major changes. So when we saw the Vulture, the first sort of Vulture, that was like, okay, so this is what they mean about different styles. Like the whole animation, the whole look was just different. And I was like, okay, so this is the first one that we see out of many more to come. But,
yeah. And then during that fight, Miguel was like talking about how there's a universe and how he's from a different one. And he referenced our boy from Earth. How many nines did he say?
99999.
Like a billion nines. And like who's Doctor Strange? He sounds like he shouldn't be working in medicine. Which is funny because he doesn't work in medicine, or at least not anymore.
Or yeah, former.
He's a former doctor, but I think your doctor title still is with you even if you don't do practice.
I guess.
I don't know. I don't know what that stuff is about. My mom is getting a doctorate, so
Nice.
I don't know what the rules about being called doctor versus Mr. But yeah.
Anyway. So then after the battle, so Gwen gets home, I believe.
No, we have to talk about the dad first.
Yeah, the dad. Yeah, so she gets
It wasn't
home.
at home. It was in the museum.
What museum?
In the art museum. They were done with the battle. Spider
Oh yeah.
Woman.
Oh, that's
She's
when.
out of webs. She can't swing
Oh yeah.
away.
Yeah.
She can't swing away. Her dad comes right behind her and says, "Freeze! Don't move! You're under arrest for the murder of Peter Parker." And like she was like trying to explain. In doing so, I was like saying, "Just take off your mask. Take it off. Take it off. Just take it off. Just take it off." And then she did, and then it's like a whole shockwave of emotions for the dad. And then still at the end of it, of her trying to explain of what she's doing and why she's doing this Spider-Woman thing and not telling him, he still wants to arrest her. That's your daughter, man. What are you thinking?
Even that, like, yeah, it was her still trying to.
It was bad. And then Miguel's like, "Hey, do you want to come with us? I guess." And she's like, "Yeah." And then she walked through the portal, and then our story begins.
Mm-hmm. That's when like the actual title and
Yeah.
so that whole sequence was like quite a what do you call it? Cold openings.
Yeah, like it was a cold. I think it was a cold opening. You think you could say that?
Yeah.
So we meet up with Miles. He's been catching us up what he'd been doing for the past few months, or I think it was a month or so, or whatever. And
even
then,
though for years, but for him it's like months.
Yeah, and so like he like tells us what he has been doing. He told us he grew a mustache, then I grew a mustache. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
He made 2 apology videos about doing something stupid because he's a kid. And then we meet the Spot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, y'all, when we were first introduced to him, he was just like this, like, shy guy who didn't even know how to use his powers, which is probably everyone who first experienced their powers, but it's like...
Which, like, I thought the Spot was gonna be just like how they said, like, what do you call it? The villain of the week or something like that?
Yeah, the villain of the week. Like, just another villain that I had to take down.
Like, from the trailer, I thought he was going to be just that. Like, just an opening, battle for Miles, and then, okay, move on to the Spider-Verse. But,
Nope.
Man, was I wrong.
We were dead wrong. So, we made a joke that he's either a dog or a Dalmatian. We fight, and like he has these like portal things that are legit like Portal. Like if you played the game Portal, he puts something there and it goes somewhere else, but he doesn't control the other end. It's like you just see where it happens, and then
just goes to another. Yeah,
you just go all around the place, and then it's a mess basically. And in the foam party cafe place that we drove by when Jeff was like dropping Miles off his first day of school, it's literally a foam party. It was filled with bubbles and a goose or a swan or whatever the bird was, and it was just a mess. It was just a mess. And then Miles had to go to a parent-teacher conference, which I know how those are like. And my parent-teacher conference are nothing like his, because mine is like, "Oh, Maddie is struggling in this. Oh, he's struggling in that." But, that's my experience with parent-teacher conferences. And I would also want to get out of there as soon as friggin' possible. And not because I was bitten by a radioactive spider, just because I don't want to be there. So.
exactly.
We learned that he got a B in Spanish, which drove Rio crazy, and did the Puerto Rican snap and like, "Hey, you know Spanish, so you do Spanish."
Right.
Like, and then he has to go because he sees Spot just trying to run away again, And then Jeff gets a call on his radio about a new mutant being around the school with Spider-Man. No one's putting two and two together. Cool, great. We're still being clueless. And then the teacher's like, I think you know he's lying to you, and you know it, or whatever the line was that we heard from the trailer. I thought she said it to both of Jeff and Rio, but it was just Rio.
In the trailer, it makes it look as if she said it to both of them, but
yeah, it was just one. So they went all the way back to the collider from the first movie, and it's all like blown up to smithereens, and like it's basically destroyed. And then he tells us that he brought the spider that bit Miles, and that's how Miles became Spider-Man. And then by destroying the collider, which, by the way, can we mention him being down there was a stupid fucking idea. Like, I don't care what science mumbo jumbo you thought was gonna fix anything. Don't be down near a collider that's going through the multiverse. You're gonna be a supervillain if you do that. And then what is he? A supervillain. And like, he's like, you created me and I created you. We're nemesis to the end. And I'm like, bro, you are so annoying.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, get a life. I can't get a life. You ruined my life. I'm like, okay, geez, calm down. And then like, Miles and Jeff had a heart-to-heart, but like, Miles as Spider-Man, like, hey, you need to let your kids spread your wings, like this. And I'm like, oh my god, this is very cringy, very cringy.
Right,
but it was good advice. It was good advice. And then he had to go to take a cake to his dad's party of become Captain Davis instead of, I think it was Lieutenant. I don't know the rankings, but like, you know, he's stepping up and becoming captain, and we all know what happens to our captains in the MCU, or at least in Spider-Man.
Now that I think about it, it reminded me of, now I don't, okay, so going to the Spider-Man game, PS4, when we see that, you know, Officer Davis gets like a Medal of Honor for doing all that. So he's not like captain, right? But he becomes like, I don't know. It's a special day for him.
Yeah, it's like a celebration.
And then what happens in there?
He dies.
So
that was supposed. That's like our first. Like, I knew, like, when the game came out, I'm like, oh no, who's gonna die? And like, oh, it's just gonna be his dad. Great. And then like, oh no, his uncle's now in jail. Great. But now in this one, his uncle's dead, and now his dad's gonna die. That's gonna be great. But we don't know that yet. we know as consumers of Spider-Man, but Miles doesn't know that because he thinks his dad is gonna be great at this captaining stuff. So he got his cake, but it says I'm not proud on it instead of his whole I'm proud of you, Dad, congratulations, whatever it was before. And then he wanted to say that he was Spider-Man right then and there, but it was not the place nor the time. And then we got a big awkward moment where the parents were just keep on screaming, and the DJ is like, I'm gonna raise the volume more and more. Okay, that's the limit, so if anyone else can hear them, it's just gonna be awkward. And then just cut. Okay, they want to argue in front of all these people. Okay, cool. I'm just getting paid to DJ. What do I know? And then he's like, you know what? Never mind. And like, I feel bad for him, but like, you can't tell everybody on the rooftop that you're Spider-Man. That's like, don't don't do that. That's not a good idea.
Exactly.
So like he's there, he's lying down listening to his music, and it's kind of cut to cut of where we left off in the first movie, but not entirely. And so Gwen comes back and says, "You want to get out of here?" And he's like, "I'm grounded." And so she's like, "Okay, is Spider-Man grounded?" And it's like,
And that's where they.
and that's where they went off. And so they catch up a little bit, but while doing so, Gwen, Gwen was tasked to follow the spot to wherever he lives and to like look after him or watch him or whatever. But she wanted to do two things at once, which is see Miles again and to see how he's doing, which was regrettably the biggest mistake she ever did the whole movie. She should have just done her thing and be off, but no, she wanted to see how her friend and boyfriend was. But we got nothing to be
Yeah.
boyfriend. And then we get catched up.
Wait, hold on. I want to like ask. So, if you were your position, if you were in Miles's parents' sort of point of view, you see Miles. He's skipping a lot. He doesn't show up. He's always leaving to somewhere, and then this punk chick-looking girl shows up with him at times, and they kind of like each other. What would you think about it? Like
My first reaction would be like, maybe she's not like the cause of it, but maybe she knows something about it, and I would ask her questions about it and have Miles be quiet the whole time and have her saying, "Hey, do you know what's up with him?" And and I'll probably embarrass the living Christ out of him because
Right.
I would like to know what he's doing, even though like even if it's like just tell me like what you're doing and I'll like accept it, dangerous or not. Like I need to know what you're doing. Like that's bottom line. As parents, you need to know what your child is doing at all times. So
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I would do. What about you? What would you do if you were Miles' dad?
I would. I don't know. I would be like, like I don't really wouldn't trust Gwen. I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, sure. Like you said, ask questions and be like, oh, so how did you meet and all that. So not. I mean, even though Mom said, oh, from school, but like, I don't know. Like, if you see your kid just leaving, acting and kind of like even Miles at times who like really like snapping back at them.
Yeah. That's no bueno.
I would have
That's
just thought,
definitely no
yeah,
bueno.
this person is probably being a really bad influence to him. Like that would have been my thought. I wouldn't say it, but that probably would have been like a thought.
Yeah, definitely a thought, but I wouldn't like say like I think she's a bad influence on you, dude. Like I'll be like in my head like she's definitely a bad influence.
That's the
but
thing
we're
you
gonna
would
see how
think
far this
of,
goes.
but not really say it until you actually know what's going on.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Yeah.
So we leave Gwen and Miles at the party because they hanged out at the party for a little bit, and what's it called? I'm trying to think. What up next? He went invincible. I've been having a hard time talking today. If you can not tell, he went invisible and followed Gwen to see what she was doing, and what she saw was the spot trying to get more of his spots to travel the multiverse because he can now do that now. And he did that, and he looked through the Lego verse, which was awesome.
Right.
And they used the Spider-Man 2 like J. Jonah Jameson like scene, like the exact scene, the exact scene.
Took the audio from the movie and then just placed it in there.
Just for Lego form. And I actually learned something about that. So that area of like animation was done by a 14-year-old.
Really?
Yes, because he
Wow.
did the trailer for Across the Spider-Verse and posted on his YouTube channel. And I guess the people in the Spider-Verse thought it was so good that he wanted to do like a little segment in the movie. So a
Mm,
14-year-old did that animation and it looked fucking awesome. It looked like
nice.
something you would see in like the Lego movie or something like that.
Right? That's what I thought.
So, but yeah. And then they kept saying, "Oh shoot, 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 shoot," but we knew what they wanted to say. But it's a PG-13
Mm-hmm.
movie, so they can't say shit. But I know they were
Yeah.
like shit, 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 shit,
Mm-hmm.
shit, 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 shit. Like I know like every shoot, replace it with a shit, and you would know how many times they cursed in that movie.
Lots.
Lots, 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 lots. So he's more powerful, which is bad. So like Miguel's pissed because he's going through universe and universe to find a place where he can get more spots and become even more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to universe and universe and universe and universe and like seeing where he is, and then they got one ping, and then she looks back at the empty city, but it's like kind of not empty because he's there, but he's like invisible. And so
Mm-hmm.
she said goodbye, Miles, and then goes to the portal. And so he thinks about it really hard. He looks at the city like, I gotta be home, but I want to know what's going on. I'm going. And then he goes. And then we meet the um what's his name? I can't remember his name.
Cool.
Pasha, I can't remember his name. Starts with a P. The Middle East Spider-Man. I can't remember his name, but
Oh.
he's freaking cool though. I like
Yeah.
his like whole yo-yo thing of how he
Mm-hmm.
web slings around. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But you know who voices him?
No.
Doppelganger from Deadpool, the
Oh,
cab
really?
driver.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's him.
Oh, cool.
I was like hearing that in the voice. I'm like, why does he sound so familiar? I'm like that's why.
Mm-hmm.
So we learned a little bit about him and how he has a crush, and his crush, her dad, is the captain of a police force in the city. And what happened was Spot got away and like blew up the city, the city bridge, and then just like he wasn't supposed to save Dr. Singh or Captain Singh, but he did, and by doing so, made a giant black hole in the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone is mad at him. But no one's gonna tell him that now. But Gwen tried to, you know, rectify
Right.
that, but it was too late. Um,
And then at some point, did we already meet Spider Punk?
no, that's next. That's next. I'm gonna get there.
Okay.
So we go back to Spider-Man HQ. He starts glitching because he's not in the right universe.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to get one day pass, which is supposed to be for babies and children, but he gets one because he's also a child. He's only
Mm-hmm.
like 16 and he thinks he knows everything. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, um, he gets one so he doesn't glitch out, and we meet a lot. And I'm saying this, a lot of spider people, including Ivan.
Are you like thinking of it, or are you like
Yeah,
waiting for
including
what?
PS4.
PS4's part. Oh, yeah, yeah. Spider-Man PS, when they were like mentioning all the video games and all that. And
Yeah.
but
So
what's cool is that
we see the
see him.
meme, and we see like the white Spider-Man suit, and like, oh my god, it's him. And then we see him again, but later, in like
Yeah.
this room full of like variants of like a Mysterio, a Mysterio. Some video game guys. Are you talking about me? And it's actually Yuri. It's actually Yuri from the game. And it was actually him.
You were like the only ones who like yelled out in the theater.
I know. No, it was literally it was a full house. I swear to God, it was the day after it released. It was a full hacking house. Hacking house. And
the only reactions was like little laughs and
little laughs and little giggles and stuff like that. But me and him were the only ones that were freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't know. Maybe we're just weird.
Probably.
We're probably just weird. But guess who wore a full Spider-Man suit and regretted it that night? This guy.
Wait, why'd you regret?
Because I was very sweaty, and it was very hard to get out of that suit because I was very sweaty. It was not pleasant. But anyway, we meet all these variants, and then this is like, oh, this is the go home machine. That's literally what it is, and you can guess what it does. It takes people who aren't in this universe and takes them to their universe.
We see live action Prowler, which is Donald Glover.
Donald Glover.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, but we see him like in live action.
Like live action. It's like not cartoon, nothing like that. It's live.
Clearly from. I mean, it has to. Well,
it has to be.
It has to be from MCU.
Because a theory is going around that that's his future self. Not his like current self, like his future self.
So in the MCU right now, he's not the Prowler yet.
Probably not yet, but he's going to.
I see.
Because they're already saying they're making a live action Marvel movie with Miles Morales. So it's only a matter of time, and we're gonna discuss. Where were we? Prowler, right. So we think he's gonna be in the MCU soon, and we're gonna talk later, probably after this episode, or in the end of the episode, who we think should be the live action Miles Morales. I think it should be someone who knows how to speak Spanish, or is like good at learning Spanish.
Right.
He has to know Spanish. That's the thing.
It's really difficult because Miles has very specific like qualities, whereas Peter Parker, he just could get some other just random
white dude.
Exactly, to just
but play. We can't just get any black kid to play Miles. We gotta get like a special black kid. But anyway, we see him, which is like insane, and it's like Miles cannot stop staring at him. So he's like, dude, it's rude to stare, and like, sorry. So anyway, we see how the home thing works, and what's it called? We meet Miguel O'Hara, and we kind of learn a little bit about him, why he started this whole thing, and that and like everything. And we also see Peter P. Parker again, and he has a baby, Mayday, who is so damn cute. I just want to hug her and squeeze her, right, Elton?
When you look at her, it's really just baby.
It's just MJ. It's really just MJ. You can only see MJ. I can only see her dad and like the way she acts.
Or swings.
Oh yeah. But yeah, and then we meet him, and then oh wait, I totally missed Spider-Punk. I do not know how to do linear stories, because if I've only seen the movie once.
If you want, we could try just going into like major, because if we go like linear specific, we're gonna be here all
Yeah, we're gonna
two
be here all day. But
exactly.
basically, Spider-Punk Hobie, he's the real G of the whole movie.
Right.
Without him, we would be like completely lost and probably still in the Spider-Man HQ or whatever. So, big props to him. He has my full respect. At first, he was like a little bit annoying, but then he grew on me. He really grew.
Really.
That's it. But yeah.
So Miles like not only get to the other side of the wall and also like escape the little like prison that they put him in.
Yeah, but he learns that his dad is gonna die in 2 days, and that it's a canon
And that's
event.
where we see Andrew Garfield,
We see
Spider-Man.
Andrew
Oh
Garfield
my
in
God.
real life as like a hologram or whatever. But
Which
in
was like, what?
what?
So,
It was
yeah,
so
this
cool.
whole thing is so connected. Doesn't matter if you're a
So
cartoon or
connected.
live action, they're
It
connected.
doesn't matter. You are so connected. And I was like telling Ivan in at the end of it, like if anyone could like tell Miles to calm down, it's video game Miles. Because if video game Peter was there,
I was,
video game
so,
Miles should have been there too.
but maybe he'll be in the second one
Maybe.
or the continuation.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh man, because I mean, okay, I have just quick theory. So in the second one, jumping really ahead, so there's like two Miles Morales now in this sort of trilogy.
Yeah.
So maybe Miles will go to PS4 Miles and talk with him, and then get advice or something like that, and then just
That is a good theory.
yeah, that could happen. But I was like really surprised that we didn't see like at all Miles like PS.
From the
Like maybe
game, yeah. But I
even
guess it's
more.
because the no, because no, then Peter from the game wouldn't be there also. Because I was gonna say, what if it
So
takes
speaking of
place?
the game, does he like aware that he's a video game?
I think he is.
He's like, oh, you're talking about me? Like, I mean,
Maybe he's not aware that he's a video game like app like thing. Like maybe he doesn't know he's like from a video game, but I think he knows like something. I don't know, but like anyway, so like he like tries to go home, but the thing about the go home machine, it scans your DNA, and for the spider people, it scans the spider's DNA because that's who you are. You're mutated with the spider. So technically, the spider is you. You're not the spider. The spider is you, and it scans him, his eyes and everything, and he tries to leave, and like Miguel's trying to stop him, and like we see this nice girl who's like basically ARing or VRing right now, and it's like she has a choice whether to stop the thing or let him go, and she let him go, and I'm kind of now looking back at it, I'm not grateful that she let him go, but like at the moment I was like, thank you, thank you, but like now I'm like, why did you let him go? Because the place he ended up was not his own. And I didn't catch this until like the reveal, but like Ivan caught it way on. And I'm like, how do you know? I'm like, oh, there's like a post-it there that said like something about the Prowler. Like, okay.
But I mean, even before that, like the room was kind of different, I think, and the whole like atmosphere was just different. Like it just didn't feel like his home.
Like I knew it was different, but I didn't know like how different it would be. You know.
And then because I was like, while they were like, he was talking with his mom, like all that, I was like just quickly like scanning through like his room, and I saw it because even though it's a room, but for some reason like that, purposely was like sticking out for if anyone were to like caught it like me. So it was a sticky note on a desk or I don't know something. It was just a sticky note, and then it was like illustrations of the Prowler's gloves, which at first I was like, why would Miles have like designs of the Prowler, right? Like, it wouldn't make sense. But then, afterwards, I kind of like just, forgot about it. But then that's when, the sort of like reveal. No. Okay. Hold on. You still with me?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I see this sticking up Prowlers. I'm like, okay, interesting. And so when what's the name of what's the Prowler's name? Uncle Aaron.
Aaron.
When he shows up and is like, all right, let's go. It's like maybe in this universe he works with the Prowler, like, helps out Aaron Davis Prowler. So maybe that's where he had the like sticky note and all that.
Yeah, because
Maybe
that's what I thought too. Like, if Uncle Aaron's still alive, he's probably still the Prowler, and maybe like he like when you pointed that out to me, like maybe he works with the Prowler at some point because he also said, "Hey, do you know the plan?" And like, yeah, let's just go over it again.
yeah, he's a little like I thought he was like a helper too.
Yeah, and then he gets knocked out because the real Miles comes into play, and we find out that he is indeed in the wrong dimension, and Gwen, like, rallies up all of her friends from the Spider Verse and to go save Miles. And Miles is now unconscious and was like giving this really good heartfelt speech about how he shouldn't have to be the Prowler and everything and all that. And then then Uncle Aaron punched the bag. I thought he died for like a split second. I'm like,
it was like blood or
like I thought it was something. I'm like, oh my god, he's dead. Like, oh my god,
no way.
he's not dead. Okay, whew. Ah,
Exactly.
false alarm. But yeah. And then we actually find out who really is the Prowler. It is him from the Ultimate Verse because he was supposed to be bitten by that spider that bit him, but it was a mistake. It went to the wrong Miles and the wrong verse.
Braids and everything.
He looks badass.
It was like, damn.
He looks so badass. Alright, my dog was trying to eat my guinea pig. Alright. Where were we?
Where we last see Miles.
Okay.
In the home.
So we see Miles now face to face with himself as the Prowler, and that's where we end it. We was like, my heart was like beating of like intensity of like what's gonna happen next. What's gonna happen next? Is he gonna survive? Like, the anticipation is killing me. To be continued and beyond the Spider-Verse, because I knew like there had to be like I knew this was part one. I knew this was part one. In my gut, I knew it, but I didn't want myself to believe it, but it was true.
Yeah. I knew it was like part, because they mentioned like part one, part two, so I was like more wondering. Because I was like, okay, there were times, I don't remember exactly when, but there were times where I'm like, okay, is it going to end here or here? Because
like, where is it going to end?
Part one, part two, so it was like, where exactly was it going to like end? And that's where it ended.
Both of our hearts were just beating so fast. So, like, I was like, oh my god. But yeah, I also want to talk about something real quick. So whenever we visit Gwen's like home, like when she went back home to face her dad again, not only does she have like a fight for trans kids on poster on her like in her room, like that scene where she just like melts down to him, were all in trans colors.
Really?
So there's a theory online that Gwen is trans.
Could be.
She could be trans. She could be just a trans woman. And like she must have transgendered like when earlier on. Because not only does she have like a trans scene when she's pouring down, and she has like a trans poster on her wall. If you look closely at her dad's badge, it has the trans flag above his badge on like his jacket or whatever. So I'm like, is she trans? Because if she's trans, she just got way cooler than I thought. Because I thought she was just a badass ballerina. No, she's a badass trans ballerina.
Imagine that.
But yeah. But easily, like, Kobe took away the whole movie. Like, he was just, like, awesome. And guess who played him? Guess who played him?
Who?
You know the guy from Nope?
Oh, yeah, no.
Him.
He appeared in Black Panther, right?
Yeah, he was in Black Panther. He was also in Get Out. He's a really amazing actor. And, like, I didn't know it was him because I knew he was British because he puts on, like, an English accent whenever he needs to, or certain accents whenever he needs to. But, like, I didn't know how hard he would had his accent on for that movie. Like, that's a hard British accent, man. Even for you. Like, you were already British. You just had to harden it up for, like, a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I thought that was pretty cool.
So, are we now, able to say which... I don't know. I still feel like we can't compare this one to the first one.
You can't. You literally can't unless you have a definitive favorite.
No. Exactly. Like, okay, you can't compare, but...
You can. There's a thing. You can't,
maybe,
but you can.
This is like... the Spider-Man... Well, it's more like, okay, so the first one was like, the best, I would say, origin story Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. And this one is more like a home, like, what do you call it? An homage, love letter to Spider-Man, because it was like, I thought No Way Home was a love letter to Spider-Man.
No. This was like
live action Spider-Man, but this is like a love letter to all of the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was crazy.
And I was like, for me, here's how I rate it. And I can't believe I'm doing this, but I have to. There has to be a winner and there has to be a loser. They can't both be tied. Because in all fairness, this won't compare to what's going to happen next year. Because we know this is going to happen next year. Like, this movie's going to come out next year, so...
Surprisingly, like, really next year already?
Really next year. And I'm like, that soon? And it took, like, what, from 2018 to now? But I guess, like, COVID and everything. But still, really?
Maybe they already, like, halfway through the second one.
Maybe, but, like, like, music-wise, the first one.
Okay.
Story-wise, the second one. Animation-wise, the second one.
Mm-hmm.
And character building, the second one. The only thing I did not like was some of the pacing and the cliffhanger. But I also didn't like some of the music choices because it wasn't as powerful as the first one. But I still did like it.
So, okay.
What about for you?
So for the first one, okay, can you like name the categories and then I'll say which one?
Yeah. Music.
Music? I am right now. I'm like listening to the album of the second one, and it is like it might have not been very powerful in terms of the scene in the movies, but like the album itself, like I'm like replaying the whole thing, and there are some songs, like 3 songs that I just keep replaying. It's so damn good. You know that song in the end credits?
Yeah, that one I liked. That one I keep replaying over, and the one where I don't know, I think it plays when at some moment with Miles and Gwen. It's called Calling. Oh, hold on. What's it called? It's called Calling. It's just Calling. Yeah, it's called Calling. The one that from the end credits is called Am I Dreaming? And that one that was like my favorite. I was like, oh, that was so like hearing that song after the wild experience of this movie was just like, oh, it was like when the first Black Panther movie it ended. It was so good, and then all the stars, like it was that level of like
impact of the end credit song. So,
Okay.
so music, and then but I loved from the first one, What's Up Danger and Sunflower, obviously. But I feel like those are like the only two I can like recall right now. So music wise, I'll go with the first one because it is more iconic. You know, with Sunflower, that's pretty much Miles' song.
Yeah, but also the reason why I stick more towards the first one is because of Biggie's song. And like having a Biggie song in a movie about a black kid from New York, that's just pinnacle for me. And I didn't hear Biggie at all throughout this whole thing. So I'm like, damn it, no good taste.
But I mean, music. If I had to choose, I would go just for being the most iconic, the first one. Yeah, but I'm loving this new one. Just saying.
Yeah. Okay. How about in terms of character building?
Character building. Oh man. The first one. More than this one, because in this one, it was like Miles already knew who he was and stuff like that, and it was kind of like figuring out maybe he should have be who he is right now. Because in the first one, you know, he was a kid, just a kid who just went from school. He didn't like the school he was. He didn't really like fit in, I would say. And so it was like he became Spider-Man, and even after he got his powers, he still just couldn't figure it all out. So he had to do it all by himself. Like that whole sort of like character, you know, development was, I think, was just amazing. And this one, it's good too. It's great, but I would say the first one, yeah.
How about story?
Story. I think this one, just because it's longer, and there was more to like. There was just a whole lot more story, not only from Miles, but like from like Gwen as well, like different, you know, Spider-Mans. So yeah, I'll probably go with this one.
Well, it was a movie to so I can't remember, but I know the first one was nominated for an Oscar for Best Animation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this will top that and actually get either get nominated as Best Picture at the Oscars and then win? Because
you know what?
I haven't I don't know if like Elemental is gonna be that great. I don't know if any other. I don't even know if like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie is gonna be that great.
Forget the Teenage Mutant Ninja. I mean, dude, this is like, are you kidding me? How many like art styles there have been?
I know.
You know? And you're gonna compare it to Teenage Mutant, who is just
that's the ones I thought of in the top of my head of like movies that are coming out or came out that
maybe
that are animation style that may
is that they're very biased. They're very, very biased.
They're very biased.
So it's like, I know we'll get nominated, so they won't get too much of a bash for it. But for it to win, I don't know. I mean, I know it should, but you know, Oscars.
Yeah, I don't really watch the Oscars anyways, but I know my mom does. So
I only watch it just for, you know, if something crazy happens, like the Will Smith and
yeah.
Trump.
Should we talk about who we think should be Miles Morales in the real life?
So I don't really know that many like contenders for who to play Miles. I know there's this one kid that people are talking about right now. What's his name? He like took a picture with Tom Holland. Hold on a sec. Who should play Miles Morales? What's his name? So I'm hearing, you know that guy from Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Yeah, he might be, like, I've heard he could be, who else? What's the other kid's name? Not a kid, more like, grown.
Yeah.
His name is Miles too. Miles Brown, I think.
That would be ironic.
But you know who that is?
No, but I'm saying that would be ironic if he played Miles Morales
Miles.
and his name is Miles.
Yeah. That's like the main sort of like what people are, talking about. But
it definitely has to be. It has to be someone new, and if not someone new, and then someone we know pretty well that we know could act. The Lucas from Stranger Things, like he's okay in Stranger Things. I don't think I want to see him in the Spider-Man suit, especially a Miles Morales Spider-Man suit. So, like, I have like very very strong criticism when it comes to my boy.
Right.
And someone playing a live action version of my boy, because because when they were like thinking of redoing this, when the Amazing Spider-Man came out, and I heard a British guy was gonna come over here and act like he was from New York, I didn't believe it for a second. I didn't even want to see it. I saw the movie in on DVD in my grandparents' house because I didn't want to see it in theater, because I'm like, I'm not watching some Brit pretend he's from New York. It's gonna be awful. It's gonna be terrible. But everyone was praising it so badly, so I'm like, fine, I'll watch it. And he does a decent job. I couldn't like not tell he had an accent. So, and then I watched the second one in theaters, and then I cried. But yeah, and then they redid it again, and I'm like, oh god, another Brit? Like, okay, maybe it won't be that bad, as in, like, for, like, for, like, Andrew Garfield. Maybe I should just give it a chance. So I knew Spider-Man was gonna be in, Civil War, because, Tom loves to spoil things. And I waited for him, like, I couldn't see him in the trailer, so maybe he was in the movie. And then, like, there he is, Spider-Man, and he actually sounds like a kid from New York. I'm like, these Brits do a better accent
job
than Americans do to their accent. Like, the only one I can give credit to is Oscar Isaac, who was in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Like, I can only give him a good, like, yeah, you sound like an actual Brit, like, award. Because I can't do a good English accent to save my life. Hello, Gunna. How?
Yeah, that's the most American thing to say.
Yes,
governor. Like, I don't think do they even say governor anymore?
I don't think so. I think that was like way back. But like, oi, what? Like, I don't know. It's hard.
What's the deal here? Yeah, hell. I just know they don't say the R that much. Like R.
They don't say the R. No.
Like what?
But what?
Yeah.
Tomato.
We are offending so many people right now. If you're listening to this,
Nassan. So.
We don't want to make another apology video for like Miles.
No, but we can't do English unless we like study hard for English accents. We're not gonna get it.
But who are we really trying to play, anyways?
No one.
So.
But I don't know. I may get some Spider-Punk merch now because Toby just carried that movie. He legit just carried that movie.
Cool.
But I don't know. But who's your favorite? If we're talking about favorites.
What do you mean, like?
In the movie, who is your favorite?
From all the other characters we saw?
From all the characters we saw.
I mean, yeah, Spider-Punk, because they gave him like actual dialogues and like part of the story, but May. Little bit.
Mayday.
No, just kidding. No. Yeah, I would think Spider-Punk too. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was dope.
I think that's everybody's favorite now.
And then going to Miguel, I did not know he was a vampire.
No, we did not know. I thought he was just a scary buff dude who really had it out for Miles.
I've heard or like seen was when I played Spider-Man Edge of Time. I rented it once and I played it. And that's where this guy, Mexican Spider-Man.
Yeah, but did you see the TikTok that I sent you?
Which one?
It was I think it was about that scene where Peter finds out that MJ is gonna die, and like Miguel's like, so, and he has like his whole spiel, like, how you're gonna let this one person die, you don't know like the first thing about being Spider-Man, like that was like that game was literally this movie.
Oh yeah, where they like predicted this movie, like they predicted the plot of this movie.
Yeah, this plot was already in motion, and it was a video game from like a PS4, or not PS4,
So
PS2 game back in the day.
If we see video game Miguel in the next one, like from Edge of Time.
That's not a bad idea.
No, again, I mean, if they done it with PS4 Spider-Man, and well, I was like saying, like they made PS4 Spider-Man, like when he appeared, when he said, "You talking to me?" Like he looked from the video game, like his like video game graphic style
and graphic and everything. It was like, ah. You know who I was actually dreading to see and not see?
Oh.
I don't know. The Ultimate Spider-Man. Not the spectacular one, the ultimate one from like the cartoon, like that I used to watch on Disney XD every morning.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's Drake from Drake and Josh. I don't know if you know him, Drake Bell.
Yeah.
Like I was like dreading him, like, is he gonna be there? Is he gonna be there? But like, I don't think he's there. Because I think he's like under some serious water.
So. I was kind of hoping to see Spider-Man from the '90s cartoon.
Yeah, I was hoping to see him again. Like, what the? Who the hell are you?
Like a really old Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like the really old one.
And I was hoping to see Tom Holland there too, but you know, we got our diversions. So
we saw Andrew Garfield full on hologram, and we saw like glimpse of Toby and Uncle Ben.
Yeah. So
but nothing. No, the only thing was when he mentioned that little nerd and Doctor Strange. That's like the only thing you could reference Tom Holland, but
yeah, but like, and like, I think the only reason why he didn't invite all of the Spider people is like Miguel only like brought in the Spider-Man that would go for his cause and not see it from Miles' perspective. Because I believe like Miguel's holding a cult, basically a spider cult of how things should be run in the multiverse. And like,
also because I think even though there was a ton of Spider-Man people, I'm sure there are many more that do not know about the lobby. Like all live actions, they don't know about that.
Yeah, if
they could see them, but they aren't aware of they're not aware that there are multiverses of other Spider-Mans, but they're not aware of this lobby of just insane amount of Spider-Mans.
Yeah, if Miles doesn't know about the lobby, like I don't believe anyone else knows about the lobby if they aren't in the loop.
Yeah.
Well, we warned you that this was going to be a long episode.
1 hour. My phone right here is tracking, and it's 1 hour long.
1 hour and 6 minutes. Ugh. Or like, what was it? 1 hour and like what? Like 1 hour? Yeah, 1 hour, 6 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast, which was mainly about,
Hopefully the audio turned out okay.
Hopefully the audio is okay. If not, blame me. So, if it's not great, blame me. We'll next time we'll have it better. So the next movie or game or whatever we'll talk about, which probably be next week. What's the movie that's coming up next week? He has like the whole dates of every movie coming out the next 2 months.
So this week, and we have I don't know if you're gonna see it, but we have Transformers.
Yeah, we have Transformers, and I don't know if I'm gonna go see that in theaters.
I don't know if I'll be, because I won't be here next week, like in my room, like But we're getting the Wes Anderson, Elemental, The Flash, and then 2 weeks after we get Indiana Jones, and then like 3 weeks after it's Barbie, which I don't think will.
I don't think we'll cover Barbie. The ones I know we're not gonna cover are Barbie and Elemental, because I don't know.
Yeah,
That's just that's really for little kids.
But July or no, sorry. When is it? Oh, this month. The Secret Invasion Disney Plus show.
Yeah, that's supposed to come out this month, right?
I think we should wait, watch the whole series and then
the whole series. You want to go through the whole series?
And then, unless something huge happens, in the first episode.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna have to probably buy a notebook and jot notes down, because I'm not gonna remember shit. Because if I can barely remember what happened in this movie,
or we can maybe, depending on the episode, if it's that good, we can quickly, not make it an hour long, but quickly 20 minutes, talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, thank you guys for joining us. This is we just talked about movies, and we'll probably talk more next week, definitely, about some. But he's gonna go on a trip. I'm gonna be working, so we'll try to schedule something of anything if we can. But we'll try to schedule another episode soon.
But if not, then hey, at least they got an hour long.
Yeah, if not, then you guys have an hour long thing to carry yourself out. But hey, that's what we get when we're not a consistent podcast, and we're gonna talk about every single thing. But we gotta go see the movie before we talk about it.
Let's go see it, process it, and then discuss.
Yeah,
it's quite the progress.
It's part the project, but
process.
But we'll see you guys later.